Right now on News 3 Now, we're following breaking news overnight in Sun Prairie, where police are working to track down a suspect in an overnight shooting. We'll tell you what we know.
And starting next year, owning a car is going to be more expensive for Madison residents. Find out why.
Plus, we are continuing to follow the fires in California as an extreme red flag warning has been issued. That's straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for sticking with us on your Wednesday, October 30th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Breider, meteorologist Hattie McLean, tracking another cold forecast, and it's kind of cold in here this morning. I feel like I need a little help here.
I was waiting for him to drop that.
Yeah. So one of our floor crew, Bubba, he's got the old scarf going because it's like really cold in here, but it's also like super cold outside.
Well, you guys should feel the weather office. The AC's on in there this morning.
Oh my
Your
gosh.
hands are frozen.
Freezing.
I know.
If there are any typos in anything that I typed in, that's why. I can't feel my fingers. But let's get you up to date, though. We have an alert day in the forecast today. It's actually for tomorrow with a potential storm. This morning, there is some frost on the news cars, so likely if you park outside, you're going to need to plan a little extra time to clean off the windshield. Leah had to do it this morning. She said, about 1 to 2 minutes extra. I asked her, I'm like, do you think it's a quick scrape today? She's like, no, definitely 1 to 2.
Not bad, but not fun.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of that season. We're getting into that time of the year that you just have to plan some extra time. Here's a look at weather track. That storm system already generating some rain and snow just to our south. Some of those snow showers moving into far southeastern Wisconsin right now. I think most of the day today will actually be dry, but cold. Only 38 for the high. We do have that snow spreading in later on tonight, probably after dark. Here's a look at your traffic reports this morning. Been following an accident on I-94 eastbound. This is near Johnson Creek. No delays though right now in that area, which is good news, but you might want to avoid it if that's on your morning commute. Otherwise, here in Madison, starting to get a little busier on the Beltline right at Stoughton Road. Also some brake lights showing up on East Washington near Stoughton Road on the northeast side of town. No other accidents, though, to report.
I feel like Mother Nature's kind of bringing us in on a roller coaster because it's like Monday was quiet and then Tuesday, Wednesday, it's just like on this ride right now.
Yes, very active time in the weather office, so stay tuned. The forecast for tomorrow's storm could change a couple more times before we actually see that snow move in.
Oh, boy.
Might need to add the boots to the costume this year.
And the mittens.
Yes, for sure.
Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
We are continuing to follow breaking news overnight of a shooting in Sun Prairie.
Let's get right to Keely Arthur right away. She's live on the scene with what we know this morning. Keely, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Yes, we are live here at the Sun Prairie Apartments, the Arlington Apartments, which are right behind me. Now, the suspect in this is still on the loose, which is very important to note. However, the victim rather, is in stable condition this morning. Now, what police are telling us right now is that someone came to these apartments around 7:30 last night, shooting someone in the stomach. That person was later taken to a local hospital and is in stable condition this morning. Now, this happened at the 600 block of Schiller Street in Sun Prairie around 7:30. As we mentioned, the person responsible was able to leave, unfortunately, before police could apprehend him. Now, we are at this scene right now, and we will continue to stay here throughout the morning. In terms of police presence, we're not seeing much right now, but we are working with authorities to learn more about the details of this case, including any details of the suspect, who again remains at large this morning. We'll be sure to bring you any updates in the next half hour, Josh and Leah, and of course on our website, channel3000.com.
All right, Keely Arthur reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Keely.
An area police chief is facing multiple misdemeanor charges for 4th-degree sexual assault and theft.
Court documents accuse Richland Center Chief Lucas Clements of inappropriately touching a bartender while she was working and then stealing her tips. Clements has been on paid administrative leave since the alleged incident back in June. Since then, members of the commission and the mayor have all told us they didn't know what the investigation was about. We caught up with Mayor Mike Kaufman yesterday.
I guess I'm going to say it was a surprise, but we are a small community and everybody knows everybody when you live in a small community, and we work together and we still all have respect for one another, and I still have a great amount of respect for the chief and the job that he did.
Now, the Division of Criminal Investigation is taking over this investigation. The Police Commission will be in charge of who will run the department next.
A police officer is resigning after being arrested for drunk driving. 28-year-old Devin Mallett had been with the Platteville Police Department since 2015. Officers say he was found driving in the wrong direction on Highway 151 last Wednesday. He resigned on Friday. It is his first OWI offense.
2 men are facing charges as part of a cocaine trafficking investigation. One of them, a Madison firefighter. SWAT and the Dane County Drug Task Force arrested 56-year-old Gerald Moran and 41-year-old Andrew Hansbrough this week. The fire department says Hansbrough was put on unpaid administrative leave back in February, but they wouldn't specify why. Hansbrough was hired as a firefighter and EMT back in 2014. He most recently worked at Station 10 on the city's north side.
The Division of Criminal Investigation is working on the officer-involved shooting from over the weekend. Now the man killed is being identified. An officer fatally shot 64-year-old Dean Thomas Sunday night on Raymond Road. This is on Madison's west side. Police Chief Vic Wall says Thomas was firing a gun at officers.
Drivers here in Madison can expect an extra $40 vehicle registration fee starting early next year.
When you add that in with state and county fees, that means it'll cost you $153 per car every year. That's after Madison's Common Council voted to approve the controversial wheel tax in an 11-8 vote, with one alder not voting. Mayor Sati Rhodes Conway says while the additional vehicle registration fee was not her first choice, it was the only realistic one the council was left with to fund the city's future transportation plans. A few council members noted that they've heard overwhelming opposition from constituents, and some worried adding this vehicle registration fee will disproportionately affect those who could struggle to pay for it.
I have to consider there are many people who are struggling behind closed doors, and this tax will definitely cause folks to fall through the cracks.
It's very important to me that we collectively be able to say to our constituents that yes, we are asking you to pay more, but we are delivering additional services.
The money from the fees will help fund the city's future bus rapid transit system. The city needs to give the state 90 days notice before enacting this tax. That means it could be put in place by February.
The mayor's budget also affecting students living on Langdon Street near the UW campus. A Madison police officer position had to be cut because of budget shortfalls, but now UW police are adding a new officer in an effort to fill that void. UW's police chief says they had to act quickly to make sure students in that area would have a seamless transition from one officer to another.
Into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning, national test scores for Wisconsin students are holding steady while the rest of the country sees significant declines. The National Assessment of Educational Progress looks at what America's students know and can do different in subject areas. Wisconsin students are ahead of nearly 40 other states when it comes to reading and math, but it's not all good news. Our state is still seeing one of the worst achievement gaps between black and white students in the country, ranking ahead of only Washington, D.C.
6:08 on your Wednesday. We're following breaking news out of Southern California this morning, where authorities are investigating a deadly shooting overnight. We'll have the latest update on that developing story that's coming up.
But first, it is 6:08, and we could be getting some more snow before October is over. A live look at a snow-covered patio this morning, where even more snow could be seen there tomorrow.
Womp womp.
Poor Hattie, she's dealing with it, and she'll have your latest forecast coming up. Keep watching News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. It's a chilly start this morning, but at least a dry start for southern Wisconsin. We are looking ahead, though, to talk about the next storm system that will impact the area as early as tonight. An alert day is still in the forecast for Thursday due to the potential for some accumulating snow once again. Either way, depending on how much snow you get, it's still going to be a wet and cold trick-or-treat time tomorrow evening, so be prepared for that. Here is the latest forecast as far as snow totals. Again, we're looking at a general 1 to 4 inch snow total for most of our viewing area. Some of the latest forecast models are actually lowering some of those snow totals, but still looks to be a little bit of a heavier band setting up just south and east of Madison. We could see some higher snow totals. Will likely be a mix of rain and snow, keeping those numbers down right along the lakeshore. Now, our probability of precipitation does start to ramp up after dark tonight, so I think most of the day is actually going to be dry for us, even despite how close this precipitation is. Take a look at Doppler track through the upper Midwest. There is quite a bit of moisture showing up on the map this morning in the form of rain and snow, and that is just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, just clipping far southeastern Wisconsin right now. That snow is close, but again, it's going to take several hours before it actually reaches us here in southern Wisconsin. Well, I guess garbage time is now just after 6 o'clock on a Wednesday, so I hope you can hear me, but the garbage truck is here at Channel 3. We have temperatures that are actually up a couple of degrees, 28 here in Madison, down though in the Dells to 22, very cold there, 24 in Boscobel, 32 though in Prairie du Chien. Our winds are pretty light this morning, so no wind chill to factor in. That's the good news. Future track forecast model shows you that any sunshine early is going to be quickly replaced with clouds. We're looking at high temperatures only in the upper 30s today. In most areas staying dry through 4 or 5 o'clock. That snow then spreads across the area tonight and possibly through the day on Thursday. Again, some of the newest forecast models are coming in, taking that snow out of the area a little bit more quickly on Thursday. It's still going to be breezy and cold though tomorrow, with temperatures topping only at 34 degrees. At least we quiet things down heading into the upcoming weekend. Don't forget, we turn those clocks back 1 hour Saturday night. Daylight saving time comes to an end. That means it's going to get dark quite a bit earlier in the evening, but at least we'll get some daylight back at the start of the day. Now it's time to get a look at those traffic reports this morning. We'll send it over to Jason Stone for all the details. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Drivers are making their way to the Beltline without any issues and are moving at the posted speed limit. Routine waiting on Verona Road intersections between the Beltline and Highway PD. All routes into Madison and around Dane County are running smooth, and all roads heading downtown are tolerable and nothing of concern on the Isthmus or campus at this time. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Jason and Hattie, thank you both very much. It is 6:14 right now. We're following breaking news out of California this morning. Authorities there in Long Beach say an overnight shooting left 3 men dead and sent 9 others to the hospital with injuries. The shooting appears to have taken place outside. Multiple shell casings were found in an alley behind a home. There's no description of a suspect or suspects or if anyone was in custody.
More breaking news from California overnight, as the wildfires sweeping across that state are expected to get worse. We are following breaking details into the newsroom as the area around Los Angeles is under an extreme red flag warning. 2 major fires are burning on opposite ends of the state. We're told the Kincaid fire north of San Francisco has destroyed dozens of homes and buildings. Millions have also had power cut as a precaution.
It only takes one ember to blow downwind to start another fire. Embers have been known to travel several miles, so we're very concerned about tonight's wind event.
Now, hurricane force winds could wipe out any progress firefighters have made so far. Some areas that are burning haven't seen significant rainfall since May. Firefighters are calling those areas tinder boxes today. Now, those fires are so significant, they can actually be seen from space. Take a look at this picture. This is new from NASA, and it shows smoke coming from the Kincaid fire, visible from the International Space Station.
The House of Representatives is continuing to gather testimony ahead of their first official vote in the ongoing impeachment inquiry. More people are scheduled to testify today after committee members heard from Ukraine expert Alexander Vindman yesterday. Vindman is the first witness to testify who actually listened to the July phone call between the president and Ukrainian leader Zelensky. Wisconsin Representative Sean Duffy attacked the Army officer at one point, saying that since Vindman was born in Ukraine, he might not be loyal to the U.S. We now know what the structure for the impeachment inquiry could look like. This is what we know. It'll give Republicans the ability to consult with House Democrats to issue subpoenas, and it also lists the Intelligence Committee first, directing that committee to hold hearings, and issue a report on its findings. That means Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff could end up being the head of the inquiry. The House plans to hold the first full vote on the impeachment inquiry tomorrow. This will be the first time the House will go on the record on those proceedings.
All right, to the World Series now. The Nationals live to see another game, forcing the series to a decisive Game 7 tonight. Game 6 wasn't short on dramatic moments. Nationals manager Dave Martinez was ejected in the middle of the 7th inning. He was arguing a call by one of the umps who ruled one of his runners out for interfering with the first baseman. But the Nationals were able to overcome that controversy thanks to a home run by Anthony Rendon. Washington went on to win 7-2. The road team, by the way, has won every game in this series so far. Game 7 to crown a new World Series champion starts at 7 tonight.
We're following a major development as college athletes fight for compensation. The NCAA Board of Governors has taken the first step toward letting athletes cash in on their fame. The board voted unanimously to let the college athletes benefit from the use of their name, image, and likeness. When asked if UW-Madison would embrace the change, the school's athletic department released us a statement saying in part, Wisconsin sports supports the efforts of the NCAA and the conference to enhance the support of student athletes that is tethered to education. They also said they'll be working with the conference and the NCAA as they develop, quote, appropriate rules.
All right, 6:18 your time now. It's not even Halloween, let's remind us all, and local retailers are already ready to hire for the holidays.
That is crazy. Seasonal spending is already up this year, and businesses are offering some early gifts to anyone looking for a job.
We'll have more on that story, but first, there's a chance we could see some more flurries this week. Caddy's going to tell us when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
Cobra
6:22 right now, live look at the Hattie-O patio, and we're going to play our own Where's Waldo this morning, but instead we're going to say, where's the snowman? Do you see it?
It's actually more difficult than you might imagine. I see him.
I see him now. Well, you guys pointed it out to me.
It's over to the right-hand part of your screen. Our meteorologist Dana Fulton made a little snowman last night.
Look how cute.
Kind of crazy.
Cute.
There it
we
is.
go.
A little
Yeah.
zoomed-in shot. There's the little guy.
You can see too, like some of the pumpkins look like they're not doing so well with all that snow on the top. They're kind of starting to rot.
Starting to smell out there?
Yeah, doesn't smell yet, but I mean, good thing that Halloween's right around the corner because these pumpkins aren't going to last much longer with all
They
that
gone.
snow. We have more snow in the forecast. We'll talk about that in just a second. It's a cold start to the day, though. We have some clouds spreading into the area, some snow in far southeastern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. That snow is eventually going to make its way into southern Wisconsin, although there are still a few question marks with the exact track of this storm system, so keep up with the forecast. Right now it's 28 in Madison, 28 in Watertown, Janesville's at 30. Temperatures have been pretty steady through the day, although it is dropping again in the Dalles, down now to 21 degrees, so very cold there. As you head to the bus stop, you'll definitely want to bundle up. Temperatures will only climb a few degrees today to highs in the upper 30s. Mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon. That rain-snow mix is likely going to move in after 5 p.m. And here's a look at potential snow. Now, there are some question marks, especially on the northwestern side of this storm system. There's going to be a pretty sharp cutoff on where their snow stops today, but generally a couple of inches of snow for most of our area. There could be some higher amounts south and east of Madison that do impact parts of Rock County and then southeastern Wisconsin. And that's your first alert forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. So, thankfully for those pumpkins, Halloween almost here, but retailers are already looking ahead to the next holiday.
I'm always looking forward to Christmas.
I know you are.
Retailers are rejoicing as well, with sales expected to rise nearly 5% compared to last year. Christina Laurie also excited about the holidays. Here now with what you need to know if you want to maybe pick up a part-time job this season.
We're Christmas buddies.
This
is what makes us friends.
Couple days away.
Too early.
No, it's never too early. But from baby boomers to Gen Zers, you'll see people of all ages working in stores this holiday season. Big sales mean good news for shoppers and businesses, but more than anything, it's looking promising for anyone on the hunt for a part-time job. That's because companies across the country need employees to help with that expected increase in sales. So they're trying to attract people with big incentives and will take them when they can. Many companies say you'll only need to work a day or two a week in the weeks leading up to and after the holidays, if that's what you want. And there are also standard retail jobs available, of course. This year, there's also a huge surge in the need for delivery and packing workers. Name a company in Madison and they're probably hiring. American Eagle, Dollar Tree, Dick's Sporting Goods, Macy's, and Target, just to name a few.
They're looking at different methods to recruit. They're doing a lot more on social and digital and using mobile technology to try and outreach to people and make it super easy for people to apply and start right away.
Seasonal workers can also take advantage of added benefits like deep discounts, extra shopping days, employee appreciation days, and even free flu shots and complimentary childcare. So if there's a store you really love, maybe it would be worth working there for the discount alone. Now, the type of worker is also changing this holiday season. Besides high school students and millennials like us, you'll also see some older workers, baby boomers in particular. The expert we talked to at Madison College says they're being specifically sought out because they're considered an extremely reliable workforce. Although I like to think of us as reliable too. They can't have all the credit.
I have to take a second and say I'm not Ebenezer Scrooge over here. I like the holiday season.
You like them at the holidays?
Yes, I like us to get through Thanksgiving first.
I don't know if I can go all the way through Thanksgiving.
These two are obsessed.
What I always
Josh listening
say,
to music already yesterday.
If it makes you happy, do it. And that's why I always say when people are just like, rah, 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 it's like, what makes me happy? Leave me alone.
Bah humbug.
Yeah, we're not pushing it on anyone else. We don't put headphones on Leah's ears and make her listen. Although that sounds pretty tempting.
It does. Boy. All right, Christina, thank you for bringing the holiday spirit.
Okay, 6:26 your time now. A Wisconsin-based business could be scamming you. Within the last 5 months, more than 150 people have lost around $150,000 from the 30-day success formula. The company has an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. They promise you can earn thousands by becoming a member, for a fee, of course. People are told they'll get a refund if they don't get their initial investment back in 90 days, but the complaints show those promised refunds were never issued. The BBB wants to remind you pyramid schemes are illegal. If you've been scammed by a company, you can find a link to file a complaint over on channel3000.com. Now, if you have a question about a different scam, a suspicious business, or any consumer question or complaint, really, our Call for Action volunteers can help you out with that. They're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 until 1. You can reach them at that number right there on your screen. That's 608-270-2833.
So we got our first taste of winter this week, and now Wallet Hub is out with its list of best winter holiday destinations. Just pushing it on you even more, Leah.
Oh, my goodness, guys.
You don't have to drive far to get to the best of the best. Researchers developed a ranking of the cheapest U.S. destinations that are also easiest to reach. They looked at the 70 largest metro areas, focusing on flights, safety, and weather. Wallet Hub named Chicago as the #1 winter holiday destination. Minneapolis-St. Paul ranked 15, while Milwaukee came in at 25.
We are continuing to pile it on, pun intended. Ski hills are blanketed by this week's snow over at Tyrol Basin. The 3 inches of snow even allowed some workers to get in their first runs of the season. The early snow has a lot of people excited for the season to come, but Tyrol Basin's general manager says if there were consistently cold temperatures, the park could make some snow themselves, allowing for skiing earlier than usual.
Meanwhile, the Wisconsin DNR wants to scrap a plan to expand Granite Peak and replace it with something bigger. They want to expand recreational activities across the entire Rib Mountain State Park, not just the ski hill. They're still working on the details, but we do know they're looking into putting in mountain bike trails. Right now, the DNR says there's no timeline for when this will happen.
All right, still ahead this morning, we have the top 3 things you need to know as you head out the door to start your Wednesday.
Also ahead, our Keely Arthur is on the scene in Sun Prairie, where police are still searching for a suspect in an overnight shooting. We'll have the very latest on that when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
In the mood. From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us on this Wednesday, October 30th. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Leah Lynchad. We'll get to meteorologist Hattie McLean's very chilly forecast coming up in just a second. But first, the top 3 things you need to know on your Wednesday. Madison is officially adding a $40 wheel tax for its residents starting next year. City Council passed the vehicle registration fee at their meeting last night. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway says it is needed to help balance the budget. Starting in February, it's now going to cost you $153 to own a car here in Madison.
Second story we're following this morning, we're learning that Wisconsin students are testing similarly compared to where we were in 2017, as the nation sees significant declines in most areas. While the current results from the National Assessment of Educational Progress put Wisconsin students ahead in both reading and math, the performance gap between black and white students is the second widest in the entire nation, only after Washington, D.C.
And to the West Coast now, where the Los Angeles area is under an extreme red flag warning for hurricane-force winds today. That means any progress made in the 2 fires burning on opposite ends of the state could be completely wiped out. Millions have also had their power cut as a precaution.
Those are your top 3 things you need to know this morning. Hattie's here now with your out-the-door weather and traffic. And Hattie, I think we can blame the cold on your air conditioning and your weather department this morning.
The air conditioning definitely working in the weather office this morning. Not sure why. We have a scrape alert for this morning. If you park your car outside, you'll need to plan extra time. Josh, where are the noises? Come on, I need the soundtrack for this. There you go.
I'm getting tired, Hattie.
You're slacking. The season is just beginning, Josh. Add an extra couple minutes to scrape the windshield this morning. It is a cold start to the day. We're talking snow then as we head into tonight and tomorrow. Some of that snow already on the map in far southeastern Wisconsin. It's going to take its time moving into our area, though, so most of the day actually going to be dry. We're looking at temperatures starting out in the mid-20s this morning, climbing to highs in the upper 30s this afternoon. Again, a mix is possible late today, but it should quickly change over to some snow tonight. Here's a look at your first alert traffic now. We're not seeing any major issues yet. Still an accident being reported on I-94 eastbound near Johnson Creek. No real big delays, though, in that area at this time. Here in Madison, still pretty quiet. Volume is increasing a little bit on the Beltline, but no major slowdowns to tell you about just yet. And that's your first alert traffic.
Hattie, thank you. We have new details about a shooting in Sun Prairie breaking overnight.
Right now, police are still looking for a suspect in that shooting. Our Keely Arthur joins us live there with the very latest. Keely?
Good morning, Leah and Josh. Yes, the shooting happened here at the Arlington Apartments in Sun Prairie right behind me. Now, this was an isolated incident. However, it's important to note that the suspect is still on the run this morning. Now, what police are telling us right now is that a 26-year-old man was shot in the stomach here last night around 7:30. He was taken to the hospital and is in stable condition this morning, which is great news. Now, this happened at the 600 block of Schiller Street in Sun Prairie. The person responsible for this, though, was able to leave the scene before police could apprehend him. So police still looking for that person this morning. We're not seeing much in the way of police presence right here at the apartment complex, but we are working with Sun Prairie authorities to learn more about this incident, including details about the suspect. We'll want to get that information out to our viewers as soon as possible, and we'll be sure to update you here and on our website, channel3000.com. Josh and Leah?
Keely Arthur live in Sun Prairie this morning. Keely, thank you.
6:35 now. Local experts want to make sure you know what your children are doing.
As vaping is growing among teens and more than 1,500 cases of e-cigarette are connected to lung injury in the U.S. Now, as of a week ago, the CDC has reported 34 deaths linked to vaping, many connected to black market devices. But Public Health Madison and Dane County says just because you get your Juul or e-cigarette from a legitimate store doesn't mean it's safe.
Because the FDA has zero regulations on these products, we have no idea what's in them, and so youth are using it at their own risk, and that risk right now is death.
Now, if you want to learn more about how to keep your children safe, local experts will be giving presentations. One will be tonight in DeForest, and there will be one at Madison La Follette in November. You can find all of the information on the Channel 3000 mobile app. 6:36 right now. Coming up in the morning sprint, we're telling you how the grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX is affecting the economy.
And there's a chance we could see some more flurries this week. Hattie's going to tell you when after this.
Black
right, 6:40 on your Wednesday. We're always asking you to share your morning with us this time of the program. And Gwen sent in this beautiful fall shot from Jefferson County saying, "Welcome back, Leah," which I really appreciated. It kind of warmed my heart on this cold Wednesday.
That is a Leah Lynchide special right there.
It is. You guys know I love those countryside photos.
Keep them coming. I'm guessing there's a little snow in a lot of those photos now.
Hey, we'll take them anyway. You know how to do it. Post it on any of our Facebook or Instagram or Twitter pages. Hashtag MyNews3Morning so Josh and I can find and share our favorites. Okay, tomorrow is your last chance to get your hair cut by a man who's been doing it for almost 60 years.
Longtime Janesville barber Burr Rote is set to retire after his last shift tomorrow. Rote has owned Rote's hairstyling shop since finishing barber college after his time in the Navy. He says while he will miss his customers, he's grateful for the time he's had and getting to know them.
I don't want to end up where I can't do it anymore, and I've been thankful. My health has been good, and a lot of people can't say that.
Good for him.
60 years.
That is a long time. You can find more information on Rote and the impact he's made on the Janesville area. Just go to our website, channel3000.com.
A retirement well-deserved.
Can you imagine those people that have gotten their hair cut for that long, too? Now they have to find someone else.
Ooh, rough.
That's always tough.
Yeah, good luck with that, folks. Okay, Halloween is tomorrow, but it could look a little more like Christmas. Hate to say it, Josh is pretty excited, frankly. Patty's tracking a return to snow in her forecast. That's coming up.
Boy, now you're throwing me under the bus.
Play some Christmas music for us, Josh.
If you've got a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so you can show their picture, or we can show their picture on TV. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back. 6:44 on your Wednesday. Bit of an ominous Halloween-y sunrise, if you ask me.
The calm before the winter storm.
Oh, you just had to throw winter in there.
I
didn't
know.
you? It's still fall, Josh.
But it's coming, Hattie, and just in time for all those trick-or-treaters to hit the neighborhoods.
I know, maybe more of a trick than a treat this year. The weather forecast is calling for pretty chilly conditions. In fact, here is your trick-or-treating forecast. We're continuing to update the forecast as the storm system gets closer to the area. Still looking like some snow on Thursday. Breezy and chilly. Temperatures will be dropping into the upper 20s, and that doesn't include the wind chill, so it will feel even colder than that. Definitely going to need all the layers for the costume tomorrow. Here's a look at your alert day forecast. And again, the latest forecast models are coming in, pulling the heaviest bands of snow even further to the east. There is going to be a pretty sharp cutoff, likely right across our viewing area. Some spots not getting any snow, others picking up a couple of inches. But either way, looks to be kind of a snowy Halloween for us. The snow will actually start tonight and continue into at least the first part of the day on Thursday. Again, here are those amounts, the latest forecast models. These will likely change a couple of times in between now and tomorrow. Here's a look at Doppler track this morning, showing you that there is some snow on the map in far southeastern Wisconsin. For the rest of us, though, things are pretty quiet right now. And even though that snow is rather close, you can see the rain just a little bit further off to the east. It'll take its time moving into southern Wisconsin. So most of the day today is actually going to be dry. The National Weather Service office says that they are holding off on any winter weather advisories for southern Wisconsin to see just a few more model runs come in with this particular storm system. That's how many questions there are. But there are some winter weather advisories in effect for parts of Illinois already this morning. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. Starting at 10:30 today, we have a north wind and pretty quiet conditions here across southern Wisconsin. Through the day, all of that rain and snow stays to our south. We have just cloudy skies and chilly conditions. The moisture starts to move in tonight, and it'll likely be cold enough for mainly snow. If it's a mix, it'll quickly change to snow. Overnight into tomorrow, this is going to be kind of a wet, slushy snow, so it will impact the commute on Thursday morning. But again, those forecast models pulling that snow out of here pretty quickly on Thursday. So we could see even clearing skies by Thursday evening, but with a little bit of fresh snow on the ground and a northwesterly wind, it's going to be chilly. Speaking of chilly, take a look at some of these temperatures. 18 in Rhinelander, 19 in Superior. Can't remember the last time we saw teens here in southern Wisconsin, but it is cold this morning. Temperatures are down into the 20s here in Madison, 28, 22 in the Dells, 31 in Monroe, though, and 30 in Janesville. No wind chill factor, though, this morning. Take a look at those wind speeds, less than 10 miles an hour, so not much of a wind chill to factor in. Your future track forecast model says any bit of clearing that we have early is going to be replaced by clouds as that storm system approaches from the south later this afternoon. Again, likely staying dry through the afternoon commute. Shouldn't have too many issues getting home, but then some snow overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. And we still could see some of that snow into the early afternoon hours on Thursday. Here's a look at your forecast for Halloween. We have an alert day in the area due to the impact of that snow and just how much it's really going to impact the trick-or-treaters. It is going to be quite breezy and cold tomorrow. We quiet things down a little bit for the upcoming weekend. Don't forget, we get an extra hour of sleep. Woo! That is the best news. I should have led with that.
Yeah, you should have.
Extra hour of sleep Saturday night into Sunday morning as daylight saving time comes to an end. Here's our Pet Walk forecast. This is Larry in Portage. Actually taking a walk by the river, they said. Looking all cool with that sunrise shot behind him.
Larry might blend in with the snow tomorrow.
I was going to say, taking that green grass.
Yeah.
I don't want to see much of that more.
Not much anymore, right?
All right. Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next. 6:51, time for the morning sprint.
We begin with breaking news of a shooting overnight in Sun Prairie. Keely Arthur is live there with the latest. Keely?
Good morning, Leah and Josh. Yes, the suspect still on the move this morning. His victim is thankfully in the hospital in stable condition following a shooting here at the Arlington Apartments yesterday. Now, police are telling us right now that at around 7:30 p.m., a 26-year-old was shot in the stomach, taken to the hospital, and is in stable condition. We don't have very many details on the suspect right now and are working with Sun Prairie authorities to learn more details. We'll tell you as they come in on Channel 3000. Back to you two.
Thank you very much, Keely. An area police chief is facing multiple misdemeanor charges for 4th-degree sexual assault and theft. Court documents accuse Richland Center Chief Lucas Clements of inappropriately touching a bartender while she was working and then stealing her tips. Clements has been on paid administrative leave since the alleged incident back in June. The Division of Criminal Investigation is now taking over this investigation.
2 men are facing charges as part of a cocaine trafficking investigation. One of them, a Madison firefighter. SWAT and Dane County Drug Task Force arrested 56-year-old Gerald Moran and 41-year-old Andre Hansbrough. The fire department says Hansbrough was put on unpaid administrative leave in February and has been on that since then.
Division of Criminal Investigation also working on the officer-involved shooting from over the weekend. An officer fatally shot 64-year-old Dean Thomas Sunday night along Raymond Road on the city's west side. Interim Police Chief Vic Wall says Thomas was firing a gun at officers.
Authorities in Long Beach, California say an overnight shooting has left 3 men dead and sent 9 others to the hospital with injuries. The shooting appears to have taken place outside. Multiple shell casings were found in an alley behind a home. There's no description of a suspect or suspects or if anyone is in custody.
Southern California is under an extreme red flag warning this morning, with Santa Ana winds expected to top 80 miles an hour. Crews are concerned about embers from the Getty fire sparking more fires. Investigators say this fire was ignited when a tree branch fell on power lines.
Relatively quiet but cold conditions today. Temperatures starting out in the mid-20s this morning, climbing a few degrees. By lunchtime, we're in the mid-30s. We'll top at just 38 later on today. Now, after dark tonight, look for a light mix to quickly change over to some snow. Some snow accumulation then is possible through the day on Thursday. Most of the area picking up just a couple of inches of snow.
If you or your kids are looking to make a little extra money over the next couple of months, experts say there is no shortage of seasonal jobs available right now. That's because companies need employees to help with an expected increase in sales, so they're working to lure people with big incentives. Seasonal workers can take advantage of deep discounts and bonuses like extra shopping days and very flexible schedules. Some companies allow you just to work a day or 2 in the weeks leading up to the holidays. There's also a surge in the need for delivery and packing workers this year. Be sure to head to our website, channel3000.com, for links to the specific local malls hiring right now.
Christina, thank you. Madison is officially adding a $40 wheel tax for its residents starting next year. City Council passed the vehicle registration fee at their meeting last night. Mayor Sati Rhodes Conway says it's needed to help balance the budget. Starting in February, it'll now cost you $153 to own a car in Madison.
We are learning that Wisconsin students are testing similarly compared to where we were in 2017, as the rest of the country sees significant declines in most areas. The current results from the National Assessment of Educational Progress put Wisconsin students ahead in both reading and math, but the performance gap between black and white students is the second widest in the country, only after Washington, D.C.
In the 8th month of its grounding, Boeing's fastest-selling plane is proving to be costly for the company. The 737 MAX costs are rippling through Boeing's supply chains and its customers, even denting the growth rate for the U.S. economy. Boeing's own costs have toppled $9 billion rather. American and Southwest estimate it will cost their airlines around $500 million each this year.
President Trump is tweeting this morning that Republicans are unfair in their fight against the impeachment inquiry. The comments come as a full House vote to formalize the inquiry is scheduled for tomorrow. This follows damaging first-hand testimony from White House Ukraine expert Alexander Vindman, who listened to President Trump's call with Ukraine last July.
The World Series heads to Game 7 tonight in Houston. The Washington Nationals tied up the series with a win in Game 6, staying alive for a shot at their first World Series title. If the Astros win, it will be their second championship in 3 years.
All right, time to turn it over to Jason Stone with a look at your first alert traffic on this Wednesday. Hi, Jason.
Hello. The westbound Beltline is slowing down prior to Stoughton Road through Monona Drive. Elsewhere, commuters are able to move at the posted speed limit. There's minor congestion on John Nolan at Rimrock. Otherwise, it's mostly clear heading downtown from the Beltline. And a recent car versus bike incident has closed West Wash at Bassett. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Thank you very much, Jason.
And we're starting to see a little bit of that sunrise this morning here in Madison. Here's a live look from the Edgewater Skycam. A little bit of cloud cover, though, already working its way in from the south and east. Our temperatures today will be stuck in the 30s with clouds this afternoon. Some light snow is expected then to spread across the area tonight and into Thursday. Could be a white Halloween. We don't often get to say that here in southern Wisconsin. It is going to be a cold one, though, nonetheless. 34 degrees for the high tomorrow.
Ooh, we've been warned. All right. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
And as Jason was just saying, we are tracking that breaking news of a person on a bike being hit by a car at Bassett and Washington. We'll have the latest at 7:26 and channel3000.com.